beautiful, intelligent, confident, independent, talented, having said, well equipped. It don't matter what you be. The best thing that I can be is me. I know who I am, who I am.
What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Shawnii Echo, and I am here giving you guys a preview of my portfolio. So, I'm going to show you guys the digital version, and then at the end of the video, I'll just flip through the actual presentation of it in the binder for what it should look like in person. Oh, by the way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and then turn on those notifications. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so as you can see, this is the cover. You definitely want to make sure you have a very professional picture. Got my pearl necklace on, my suit. This is pretty much what I wore to all of the panels at YearUp. And then I earned my YearUp pin, so yeah, got that. And now we have a table of contents. Now, if you have Mr. Cornell, then this was a requirement. So, this is what your portfolio should include. A cover page, table of contents, biography, job description of the job that you want, a cover letter, your resume, your references, 3 samples of your work, your grade overview. That wasn't a mandatory thing, but because I had such good grades, I decided to go ahead and add that in because I had to have 2 visual representations, like graphs or charts. So I chose to do that with my grades and my performance throughout the program. Also, you need 2 letters of recommendation. And then if you have like any awards or any certificates that you earn, those are good things to add in your portfolio as well. And then you want to end it off with your thank you letter. And because mine was like a book, I went ahead and numbered where you could find those things so that they wouldn't just be flipping through. So that is the table of contents. Alright, so the first one is my bio. With the bio, I chose a similar picture to what was on the cover, but I decided to add the glasses in because I am in IT, and a lot of IT people wear glasses, so I thought that looked techie. It's not mandatory, but I liked the IT look. Your phone number, your email address, and the city and state that you're from. And then you want to go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself. So just a very short bio. Mine says, I learned about YearUp via Facebook timeline. I felt that this would be a great opportunity because it would allow me to learn about technology without having to get into college debt. Then I went on to say, it would also provide me with the opportunity to provide for my family. Since being here, YearUp has been a valuable experience to me. I have been able to truly see my potential, and I've had it all along. I've been told I'm a great influence on my colleagues, and I believe this is the result of me embracing being a leader and maintaining the highest class average in my learning community. I have obtained my Microsoft Office Specialist certificate, and I have plans to accomplish so much more in my career. So that's very, very, very simple, to the point. Just gives them, an idea of me. Moving forward, about myself, education. So YearUp Greater Atlanta and Low Valley High School graduate. 3 things about your personality. So 3 things that would describe your personality. I chose devoted, responsible, and willing to learn. 3 skill sets I have. I'm proficient in Excel. I'm good at project management, and I have a lot of PC repair knowledge. And then you want to choose 3 of your strengths. Mine was leading and influencing others, planning and executing tasks, and analyzing problems and solving them. what excites me the most about my internship opportunity and areas I would like to further develop while I'm on internship. So that was about myself. And then they wanted us to pretty much research the job duties of the job, the type of job we want. So I chose data analysis. I just went on Google and found different requirements for that job. This is my cover letter. So I wanted to go to Google, so I did mine for Google. With the cover letter, of course, you have like your address, phone number, email, all of that stuff up there. The date, hiring manager, that's who you want to address it to, and then the actual address. And then you just kind of want to, in your cover letter, you want to go over why you're applying for the position, the fact that you heard about it, and why you feel like you would benefit from the company and how you feel like you can add value to the company. That's pretty much the gist of your cover letter. And I'm not going to read it, but it's on the screen, so if you want to read it, pause it, and it will be right there for you. By the way, I have Mr. Cornell, and it's very, very, very hard to get 100% on anything. And this is the only, I believe, one of the only assignments that I got 100% on. So this is a good example of a portfolio. If you're in the program, you need help trying to figure it out, you can't go wrong there. I had a lot of people blown away. And when we show our portfolios, they have to be, it's like a career fair, but it's set up to where you're showing your portfolio. So it's like a museum, and you're in competition with all the students. Next, we have the actual resume. And keep in mind that you'll see at the end of the video, I do have copies of my resume in black and white because I had this orange and brown theme going on with my portfolio. I did decide to go ahead and keep that thing going throughout my resume. But when you do give it out, you definitely want to make sure it's just black and white. I got a lot of feedback from the color. With your resume, you just want to make sure that everything is aligned. This is actually not my updated one, but you see this here. I was given the feedback to align it left. Yeah, align it left so it'll all be on the same page, and the skills, experience, education, volunteer, all of that needed to be capitalized. And then you want to make sure that you're going in with action statements and making sure that when you're showing like what you did at your job, you're not just saying, oh, I did data entry. You want to explain what you did, quantify it, and then also explain the results. So me doing this resulted in the company's sales going up by 4%, So they wanted to see action items. So talk all day about resumes, but this is my resume. You start off with your skills, your experience, last two. Try to use the experience that pertains to the job you're applying for versus just putting where you worked. And volunteer experience, and then a few of the awards that I got. Next up, we have references. And you want to make sure with the reference you are putting in their phone number, their address to where they can be reached. And if they have an email, you can use an email too, but I didn't use email. And then work samples. So I had 3 samples of my work. This was a paper that I had to do for my instructor, Mr. Hunter. It was just like a current event, I believe, that I had to do. And he was serious about this work cited. So I showed that, and then at the end of the work, I took like a screenshot from Schoology, because if you're in YearUp, you use Schoology, of what the result was. So I did the work, I showed them, and then I put what my grade was. So I got 30 out of 30, and then my teacher actually left a comment, so that was good for the person doing my portfolio to see. This is my second work sample. With this one, we had to make a flyer. So I have a flyer of, promoting YearUp to new people who might be interested in the program. So we were learning how to do Word, PowerPoint, Excel, different things like that. So this was one of the assignments from my instructor, Ms. Ponder. And the result of that was a 90 out of 100. I don't remember why I missed points, but yeah. this is my second work sample. And then my third work sample was the outline to the public speaking speech, the informative speech by Mr. Cornell. And so again, we go through the outline, and the grade was a 96 out of 100. He refused to give me 100, and it's all good. He made me a better person. Alright, so now we're coming up to the grade overview. With the grades, pretty much took all of my different classes, put it on a pie chart, and just gave a visual and numerical example of how I was doing. So, business writing 1, 92%, business writing 2, 94%, advanced Excel, customer service, regular Excel, software applications, operating system. So that kind of showed them what I was learning for 1, and 2, how well I did in those different areas. And as you can see, everything was above 90. Great, no, but that was them being able to visually see my grades, because it's one thing to say, you have good grades, it's another thing to show them. And so, let me go back. These right here, these screenshots, that really shows credibility, because it shows that you're not just making up stuff. And then I did a performance overview, so if you're in YearUp, you can lose points, you can get infractions, there's a number of different things. So I decided to also chart my performance. I really don't like how this came out, but it was a visual representation. I guess because I didn't really have high numbers, it just doesn't look as effective, but it still works. So I broke it down in terms of community service events, completed 5 of those at the time. Awards, I received 6 awards at the time. Excused absences, I used all 3 of them, so I did put that there. And then the different type of infractions you can get, all of those were just 0, 0, 0, tardy 0, missed assignment 0, and the contract points that I've earned. So out of 470, I had 455 because I did use my excused day, and when you use it, you don't lose points, but you don't gain points either. You don't meet expectations. So that was just me giving a visual representation of my performance throughout the program. And then this was a letter of recommendation. You definitely need that for your portfolio. And another one. So I had one from my high school teacher and one from my coach at YearUp. And then for the digital, I just took pictures of the awards. But I can go ahead and show you those. You'll see those at the end of this video when I flip through the actual physical. So I had award for the highest points at 305, value of excellence, highest contract points at 425, highest class average. I earned my Microsoft Excel certification. So again, it's one thing to say you earned it, it's another thing to show that you earned it. So that was good for the portfolio. And those are just a few of the many, but again, you'll see at the end of the video. And then the last thing you want to do is just write a thank you letter. So, that's going to display that after you went through your interview process, you showed your cover letter, you did your resume, your references, and then you have that interview, you just follow up with that person, and you do that in a thank you letter. If you're in YearUp, you can ask any of your instructors for guidance, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction when it comes to your portfolio. I just thought that I would share my portfolio with you guys, and I'm going to insert a clip now of the physical copy. So that was my YearUp portfolio. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to take something from it. I can't email it, so you're gonna have to kind of look at it there. I don't want anyone to get in trouble for plagiarism. So please don't pause this video and copy my portfolio word for word. I just wanted to give an example of one of the many portfolios that were done in YearUp, and it's really helpful when you leave the program and you apply for a job. Like, even when I had my internship interview and I pulled out my portfolio, he didn't know who I was, and he felt like this really gave him an idea of what to expect of me as an intern. So it's a really good tool for your interviewer to see you for who you are without even knowing you. I encourage you to make a portfolio, or, just start thinking about it if you haven't already, reached that assignment. But it's coming, so get ready. And again, if you haven't yet already, hit the like button. Looks like this, but it's down there. Subscribe and turn on the notifications, okay? And that's about all. I'll see you guys later, all right? Peace.